Now, as you could probably tell from the title of the video, I'm a bit disappointed in everything that I saw yesterday. I mean, a lot of the matches were pretty good, except the one that I was hyping up, the one everyone was hyping up. Yeah, it definitely did not deliver, and we're going to get into that. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about that, probably. But yeah, as always, if you guys do enjoy, hit subscribe. Maybe one day this channel will hit 1 billion subscribers. Who knows? Who knows? It's in the realm of possibility. 1 billion is not that much. And hey, if you guys are really feeling it, you can leave a like on the video because it helps promote the video. But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's start with 3v3 as usual. We had Space Station Gaming versus Affinity. And to be honest, this was actually a much closer game than I originally thought. I talked about in my last video that the way Affinity would beat Space Station would be letting Magic Bears strike, do a lot of the striking. You want to really control the boost, maybe get some demos in, and when they were scoring, that's exactly what they were doing. They just couldn't get it done enough of the time. As you can see from the scoreline, Space Station won most of the games, but there's 3 overtimes, and most of the games were either 1-goal games or pretty close. Affinity kept it much closer than I had thought, although the scoreline was only 4-1, so didn't keep it that close. But I mean, when you watch the game, they really did look like they had a chance a lot of the time. The problem was they lost every overtime. Every single OT they lost. You know, it's not like Affinity couldn't score throughout the matches. I mean, the game really did come down to those overtimes. I mean, 3 overtime losses, then they proved that they can score, right? So it just happened to be Space Station all 3 times. But then again, that's what separates the top of the RLCS from the bottom of the RLCS. And when Affinity were scoring, they were really controlling the mid boost. They would grab the mid boost, and then instead of going directly for a pass, they would go for bump plays, and they got a lot of aggressive plays going right after they took that boost, because if they control the boost, then Space Station's not going to be able to move out of the way of a lot of bumps or demo plays. So they really did use the boost advantage to their advantage. A lot of teams struggle with sometimes they'll have the boost advantage but not do anything efficient with all the boosts that they have and then just waste time. You know, I think Affinity actually did well. It's just, at the end of the day, Space Station are fast, okay? Space Station, right when they do get a boost, they are efficient with the boosts that they have. So it's really hard for Affinity to continuously boost steal because eventually SSG is going to get boost. And when they did, they played their cards right, instantly got the ball out of their own half. You know, they just knew what to do in certain situations more than Affinity. Again, that's what separates the 2 teams. But yeah, I liked how everyone really played on the field. I don't think it was a bad showing for Affinity. Obviously, Affinity are going to need to work on a lot of things before they really become a staple in the RLCS. We don't know how they'll play up against maybe the mid-tier, the lower-tier teams, but I think that they don't play that bad, to be completely honest. I mean, they're pretty decent. So I don't think they'll be like Flight where they just get promoted and then instantly auto-demote. I mean, if they're playing like this, they won't tank out of the RLCS at the very least. And then we had Space Station versus Rogue. I said that I expected SSG to win, and if there was any team to take down Space Station, it probably would be Rogue in 2v2, but no, not when Sipical is playing lights out. They had 1 game that went to 7 goals, 1 game that was 8 goals. They were high scoring every game, and it was all on the back of Sipical. Sipical was just faster than everyone, and that's strange to say because in 1v1 and in 3v3, Firstkiller is probably one of the fastest players in the game. Yes, one of the fastest 3v3 players in the game. There's obviously other things Firstkiller lacks, but we can get to that now in another video. The fact that Firstkiller is such a fast player, and you would think he's the fastest player on the field going into this matchup, no, it's Sipical. Sipical, his positioning in 2s is just far beyond anyone else's, except maybe Alpha 54. Alpha 54 is also really good at 2v2s. I say best in the world's a toss-up between them, because obviously we don't have like an international LAN for 2s, but Sipical, man, he was just all over the field. There's a ton of highlight clips I could show you from this game. I'd say any game from today to watch, go watch that one. It was just, I mean, it was just really good. Everything about it was just good Rocket League on Space Station's part, but at the end of the day, they were the better team. That's all there is to say. You know, if that matchup happened again, they'd win it again probably. And then we get on to This match, so I was hyping up Rogue versus Affinity, Firstkiller versus Magic Bear, and honestly, I gotta say, it was just so disappointing. Game 1, like a couple goals in, like a minute in, Magic Bear ends up disconnecting because of poor internet, and yeah, he doesn't play basically any of the games. It was Firstkiller versus Jordan for games 1, 2, and 3, and Jordan kind of got smacked around. And I'll be honest, Jordan did keep it a lot closer than he might have thought, but then again, it was just the whole way everything happened. Firstkiller started freestyling because, you know, he knew he was a lot better than Jordan compared to Magic Bear. It was just a much easier matchup for Firstkiller, and yes, Jordan kept it close, but I don't know. Firstkiller was just kind of messing around. It was just so disappointing because we were looking forward to this match so much. You know, it's like if we were expecting a G2 versus Vitality like matchup, maybe not even a grand final, just a G2 Vitality matchup. And then G2 can't play, so they throw in like Flight or something. You know, it's just like the match that we were expecting. You know, we were not expecting just another dominating 4-0 sweep. Firstkiller has literally not lost a single game of ones this tournament, and that's mostly to do with the fact that hasn't been any competition for him. Game 4, Magic Bear came back. But at the end of the day, Firstkiller was up by 3, Magic Bear down by 3. I mean, what do you expect to happen? Magic Bear is going into it just... It was already a loss. Even Johnny Boy during the matchup said that there was probably no way Magic Bear wins 4 in a row. It just wasn't going to happen against a Firstkiller looking this good. Because I do say a lot that I think Firstkiller is the best ones player in North America right now, and he did show that today. He really did. However, I think that Magic Bear is one of the few people who could beat him. You know, Lethamyr was the last person to beat him in a competitive setting, so Lethamyr is also one of the few. You know, other than that, I don't think that J-Russ or Lion Blaze could do that, because last time that he played, that Firstkiller played against them, he destroyed him. The one's tourney's over, okay? That's what I'm saying. The one's tourney is over. And Firstkiller will probably, I don't want to say 4-0, I'd say it'll probably be a 4-1. However, if Firstkiller plays like he did today, it'll be another 4-0, honestly. And it is crazy just to see how good of a player Firstkiller is at 1v1. But the Affinity matchup just did not showcase Affinity's one's potential. It didn't at all. I mean, it was... I really wish Johnny Boy could have pushed the matchup back. Because, you know, obviously I like seeing Firstkiller dominate a ones match, but not when I'm expecting like a really good match. I was expecting this to literally be the grand finals. And yeah, the ones bracket's over. Firstkiller, Rogue won it already. That's they might as well just give him the points. I'll bet every dollar I got Firstkiller wins again. But yeah, it is what it is, and let's get on to the matches that are going to happen tomorrow, or I guess today when this video comes out. As you guys know, I record a previous day. So we'll have Rogue versus Envy, and this is going to be match of the day. I am excited for this one. Rogue versus Envy. This is going to be the best threes match we've seen so far, and I am excited for it. You know, now that Envy has Retals, they look a lot less inconsistent, I'll say. Envy did look really inconsistent. When they were on, they looked like one of the best teams in North America, but when they were off, or when I say off, when not all their players were on, they just have so many struggles. But now with the Retals, seems like they've completely reworked to their play style. It works around him now. They got... It's a good combination of solo plays as well as infield passing plays. So I really like what Envy does. Retals, I mean, they have Retals as the first man usually now. Atomic will get the ball out to him, or vice versa, Retals to Atomic, and Mist stays back as third man, or Mist is going for bumps and demos. And that's what Envy have been doing this tournament and recently as they picked up Retals throughout the qualifiers. And I like that playstyle. It works out. But then there's the Rogue. They have a new playstyle as well, and it's called actually being good. That's their new playstyle. But no, honestly, their playstyle revolves around heavy mechanical plays, and I'm talking about top tier, top level, crazy passing plays between Turo and Firstkiller. Sometimes Kronovi will get in the mix, but the craziness always comes from Turo and Firstkiller. Sometimes they'll have a crazy pass out to Crow as well, and Crow will need to finish. But usually it'll be Crows at third man or going for demos just like Mist. But they also, I think, a lot more than Mist per se. Kronovi gets in on the action, in on the passing plays. I mean, Firstkiller and Turo, one thing they do so well is not only can they make a crazy pass like from a crazy angle, but they can snipe their opponent really well. I remember this one play, I think it was Turinturo on the back wall. Just basically sniped Kronovi, made it easy for him. And you know, that's just what they do. And their playstyle is heavy mechanics, very fast playstyle. Like I said, Firstkiller is probably one of the top 3 fastest players in the world right now in 3v3. number one, probably the number one fastest in 1v1. Remember, fastest doesn't mean everything, okay? I could say Firstkiller is the fastest 1v1 player in the world, but it doesn't make him the best, okay? Other aspects of the game. Like back when Fairy Peak was the best 1v1 player in the world, but he was super slow, methodical, defensive, took his time, and that's actually Firstkiller's counter, to be honest. But yeah, so who has the upper hand in this matchup? I don't know. We haven't seen these two new teams play against each other. It's going to be fun to see. I think Rogue takes it, honestly. But if Retals pops off again, plays very well, like we know he can, it could be a different game. But again, if Firstkiller and Turo are popping off, I don't think Envy will win. But I think I'm going to give it 7 games. I think this will be close. Like, I think this will be a good match. It'll be 6 or 7 games in favor of Rogue. Maybe Envy will only take off 2, but it'll be a good match. They'll take no less than 2 games. Then we get on to, it'll be Vision versus Affinity, and it's going to be Rodoko and Kinsei versus Magic Bear and Percy. It's going to be a really good mechanical match. It's really going to come down to Magic Bear and Kinsei. Both of them just very insane high-level mechanical players. In 2v2, they have the ability to just do insane outplays. Like we saw it in the Vision versus 72 PC. They weren't outpacing their opponents, they were outplaying them, meaning mechanical stuff, just slight touches on the ball, stuff like that. And that's what Kinsei is able to bring to the table. Same thing with Magic Bear. It's really going to come down to who's more consistent with their mechanics in this matchup, because that's what both teams, or at least the two superstars on the team, focus heavily on. And then we're going to have 72 PC versus Divine in the 1v1s. So Lion Blaze versus J-Russ. And you know, it's weird. The way that J-Russ is playing in the Divine Vision match, I expect him to take it. Also, remember the last time that they played Chicken versus Lion Blaze in the Salt Mine, Chicken won. So I expect him to have the slight edge. Chicken being J-Russ, by the way, for those of you who don't know. So I expect J-Russ to have the slight edge. I think it'll minimum 6 games, could easily go the distance. Both of them are probably equal in skill. Maybe, you know, J-Russ with that slight advantage, but it doesn't matter. The 1v1 bracket's over. It doesn't matter which one of these guys make it. Last time they played against Firstkiller obliterated them. Still so disappointed about the fact that Magic Bear disconnected. You know, I like close matches. You know, obviously I like Firstkiller. I want him to succeed, but at the same time, I want to see good matches or really close matches. I don't want to see Firstkiller literally freestyle for 4 games straight. You know, it'd be like that sometimes. But yep, that's everything that happened. That's everything I wanted to go over. As usual, if you guys do enjoy, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.